Dear Americans, I post this video on behalf of the non-American humans of the world. A bit pretentious? Hear me out. Why would I care about you? Why would I care about your country and your upcoming election? Well, I don't. I don't care about your crumbling infrastructure, about the fact that your education system is rubbish, about your drinking water poisoning you, about journalists, defenders of democracy, threatened with imprisonment for doing their job, whilst rapists, provided they're white, receive a 6-month jail time sentence, and right-wing militia are let go after having been in a shootout with police in which one of them dies. A felony murder, which equals life imprisonment. I don't care about your obesity, which is killing a yearly amount of people that the average terrorist could only dream of, which makes Ronald McDonald a much more efficient killer than Osama bin Laden ever was and Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi will ever be. I don't care about your insane healthcare, or rather health extortion system, about the disparaging gap between the rich and the poor, about the lack of social security for those less fortunate. I don't care about bankers getting away with robbing the average American blind. I don't care about your Second Amendment killing tens of thousands of people each year. I don't care about your rate of incarceration, about the imprisonment of people for having the equivalent of a glass of wine, which initially began as a racist policy. I also don't care about racist cops killing unarmed black people by the hundreds. And I don't care about your level of theocracy that endangers skepticism, free thought, free inquiry, scientific empiricism. I don't care that about half your people ignore facts, although facts don't cease to exist because they're ignored. And finally, I don't care that you no longer live in a democracy, because one, your politicians are bought, and two, your state system de facto means that democracy doesn't function where there is no close race. You know, I couldn't care less about your country because I don't have to live in it. I care about one thing though. I care about your foreign policy, as it concerns me. And unfortunately, we, the non-American humans of the world, all too often have to deal with you or with the consequences of your actions. Therefore, dear Americans, I have one request. Could you stop killing us? That's all. Please just stop killing us. Stop invading our countries for pointless wars that only inflict death, destruction, suffering, heartache, instability, that beget more violence. Wars that are inflicted upon people who by and large are completely innocent. If all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. A famous saying, but if all you have is a massive military, the world is your stratego, your cynical playground. And you cannot live off of your Second World War sacrifice and victory any longer. You will go down in history, dear Americans, as one of the most brutal, ignorant, and warmongering empires the world has ever seen. And that makes us all losers. You for spending a vast percentage of your budget on weaponry and bringing sacrifices in all the wrong places. Us for simply being on the receiving end of that weaponry. Or are we all losers? Are you a loser when your child kills itself because you and your Second Amendment left your gun laying round? Are you a loser because your car stalls and you look like a bad dude, so a police officer shoots and kills you? Are you a loser because you are that police officer, risking your life every day for the safety and security of others, in a country where there are as many guns as there are people, and you killed an unarmed, innocent father of 4? Are you a loser because you're having your wedding on the wrong day in the wrong city, and you, your bride, your groom, your family, your friends are bombed to smithereens because of wrong intel or collateral damage? Are you a loser for being a soldier, defending your country honorably, but unfortunately you are born in Iraq, so you're now among the 1 million Iraqi casualties of the most recent American genocide? Are you a loser when your name is Mohammed and you're a kid playing on the beach of the Gaza Strip or taking shelter in your home in Syria? Are you a loser when your stock prices soar whenever a new multi-billion-dollar oil or arms contract is signed with the US government? Wait a minute, we've got a winner after all. You, sir, madam, are indeed a winner, living in your $1 million villa, your multiple cars, your supermodel wife, and your shallow existence. You are responsible. You are responsible for much of the world's misery. You should be in jail for your sociopathic, or rather psychopathic, selfishness. Let me tell you something. Whenever your most recent win, the $1 trillion tactical nukes deal with the US government, backfires, we will find you. And that is not a threat. You know how we'll find you? We'll find you because nukes tend to not care whether you live in a villa or a slum. Nukes are funny like that. They don't discriminate. They don't give it a second thought. They destroy all, which in the end makes even you, dear sir, madam, a loser. It makes you the biggest loser of all time for instigating the destruction of the human race. Einstein famously spoke, "I know not with what weapons World War III will be fought, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones." You want to have that on your conscience? Do you have a conscience? We, citizens in a democracy, have the obligation to think and act accordingly. If the human race ever needed for people to think, it is right now. Facts exist. Uncomfortable facts exist. Reason and reality exist. Therefore we, all humans, have to unite in getting money, getting corporations and bribery out of politics before we are, indeed before we are all losers. Dear Americans, you are about to elect a new president for your country. There are 4 candidates. I'll concern myself with 2 as they stand the most reasonable chance of winning. The Democratic candidate is a hawkish, bored politician. Please read what lawyer Doug Band has to say about the Clinton Global Initiative. The Democratic candidate pretends she serves the people, while she, due to WikiLeaks no longer secretly, supports her big corporate donors and herself. She is or used to be in favor of TPP, of big banks, big corporations. – She is against a decent minimum wage, etc. Moreover, she has been on the wrong side of history multiple times with regard to the United States of America's interventionist behavior. Last but not least, she is proud to call war criminal Henry Kissinger her friend. The Republican candidate, on the other hand, started his political career by being a racist. Everyone knows it, and that should have been the end of it. You've had 43 presidents before Barack Hussein Obama, none of whom were ever asked to produce their birth certificate. First black guy becomes president, we don't trust him, that's racist, period. The Republican candidate then developed his political career by being a misogynistic, xenophobic, stealing nincompoop who discriminates on the basis of religion. This 6-time failed businessman brags about sexually assaulting women, ignites and supports violence, divides your country, and is in essence a fascist. Both candidates, however, have something in common. They both support corporations. They love corporations. They adore corporations because they're paid by them. They are paid millions and millions and millions of dollars. Now, corporations are not human. They don't have feelings. They are incapable of empathy, of altruism. Corporations are robots that are designed to maximize profit. That's their sole purpose. If more profit means more war, so be it. If more profit means the destruction of nature, so be it. If more profit means ripping off people by selling them garbage financial products and destroying their lives, so be it. If more profit means more human suffering, who gives a shit? And as long as it's not my human suffering, you're likely to not care much, as your corporate media keeps you in a state of perpetual disengaged, uninterested slumber and hypnosis. Ask any CNN anchor or Fox, I'm sorry, I just can't say Fox News, okay? Ask any Fox reporter what his or her purpose is in society, and they'll bombard you with ratings and polls and commercials. They have forgotten, well, they've been paid to forget that it is their noble task to guard democracy, to vilify politicians, to strive to bring to you, the public, the truth. Thinking of your corporate media, paid by the same donors that pay off your politicians, using the word truth and CNN, or truth and Fox in the same sentence, is laughable and sad. You are amongst the most misinformed people on the planet. You are lazy, as you will not use the freedom you have to use the internet and find out what is actually happening. You lack intelligence and curiosity. You are religious fanatics for whom facts have no place in everyday life. You are consumerist zombies connected to the drip of capitalism, waiting in line for the next electronic device. You are selfish and self-absorbed to the extent to make an imploding star jealous. You eat up fame and bathe in shallowness. You don't give the suffering of the majority of the people on this planet, whose lives you actively or indirectly destroy, a second glance. Where's your engagement, your anger, your outrage? Not over the cancellation of a Justin Bieber concert, but over the inhumane treatment, prosecution and incarceration of whistleblowers, like WikiLeaks, Julian Assange, Chelsea Manning, Edward Snowden. Real patriots People of flesh and blood who have sacrificed everything so the quality of your life may increase. You seem unable to find empathy for people different than you. What is the solution? In your country you had one. His name is Bernie Sanders. Her name might be Elizabeth Warren. Politicians, people with actual power, who are not corrupted, and who want to change and repair the most powerful nation on the face of the earth. The establishment, the democratic, corporately bought establishment, has actively obstructed Mr. Sanders' campaign and election. It had to be Hillary, and now it is Hillary Clinton. Dear democratic establishment, I direct myself to you now. You have selected, hand-picked, a candidate who is unable to beat a monster. Let me rephrase. You, the democratic establishment, have selected a candidate who is tied with an ignorant, fascist, misogynistic, racist, xenophobic, pathological liar who bankrupted 6 companies, cheated the system wherever he could and shipped jobs overseas. Ask yourselves, how horrible does your candidate have to be to currently tie with a monster like Donald Trump? If I were your candidate, if anyone were your candidate, that person could have gone on a vacation for the last couple of months, drank margaritas on the beach all day, party all night long, get back on election night and win by double digits. But not Hillary Clinton. Various polls have shown that Mrs. Clinton is the most disliked and distrusted politician in the modern history of your country. Fair or unfair, that is debatable. But polls don't lie. These are the facts we have to deal with. Various polls have also shown that Mr. Sanders, when he was still in the race to become the nominee of the Democratic Party, would beat Donald Trump by double digits. Now, you can read polls. You are, unlike the Republican candidate and campaign, not incompetent or ignorant. So, why did you knowingly choose such a flawed candidate? You chose Hillary Clinton because you love the status quo. You love corporations and you love their bribes. You love the fact that you're bought, slightly less bought than the Republicans are bought, which give you a moral high ground to make you sleep at night. But don't fool yourselves, you are bought all the same. Very much like your corporate donors, you too like your $1 million villa, your multiple cars, your supermodel wife, and your shallow existence. Dear democratic establishment, you have, fully aware and willingly, taken the risk of a Donald Trump presidency. You have risked a nuclear war because of a twittering, blithering idiot. You have risked not only the fate of your country, but the fate of humanity because of your greed. Take a good hard look in the mirror, because if in a couple of days it'll be President Trump, you might keep your villa, your multiple cars, and your supermodel wife, if you don't mind them being a bit radioactive. Dear Americans, the world implores you. We cannot have Donald Trump in the White House. Use your democratic right and go vote. We would risk all, and the cards are stacked against us. Very much unlike Trump's casinos. This time, the House will win, and we will lose. This is not a horribly gone wrong Disney movie, out of which we'll all soon wake up. This is real. Dear Americans, I wish you all much wisdom, casting your vote in the upcoming election. Do not let us down. Do not let yourselves down. In that order. Peace.